It's semifinal Tuesday, the 6th annual Phil Cox Memorial Holiday Tournament, as two 4A powers square off this morning in Game 1. The 7-1 Northridge Raiders take on the 6-1 host Kokomo Wildcats right here on the ISC Sports Network. This morning's Game 1 is brought to us by Coca-Cola of Kokomo, proud to keep the Cats hydrated both on the court and in the classroom, and by Galitco and Daly. We go to work when you can't. Find out more at IndianaWorkers.com. Alongside Jared Thomas, Rob Brown with you this morning. Glad you're with us to take in this first of two semifinals. The Raiders of Northridge being introduced. Northridge coming off a 76-64 win over Maryville in its first contest in this tournament. Of course, that game highlighted, Jared, by Brady Scholl's tournament record 40 points in that contest.
I feel fortunate just because in the same day, although not being on the call, where Brady Scholl went for a career high, he eclipsed the 1,000-point mark, something that I was able to witness in the same game, in the same way, a little bit later in the day with the way that those games went in the second one with Brennan Miller from Lawrence North. So this is the time, the holiday season, as we get ready to turn into the new year, that so many things come to life, and a lot of it is the DNA of your team, and you look for your best players to put their best foot forward.
Speaking of which, Kokomo's Corbin Hamill, their senior leading scorer, the all-star candidate, led the way for the Wildcats in their 66-45 round one win over Chittard. Hamill with 18 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists, 4 steals. Just a great all-around game. We're set to go. Gary Hamilton, the crew chief of our 3 officials, working alongside Brigham Robbins and Matt Weldy. And the tap is controlled by the Raiders. Northridge clad in the black road uniforms, gold lettering, green numerals, trimmed in those 2 complementary colors. Quick turnaround shot is off the rim. Took a lap and fell off. Brady Scholl was 14 of 17 from the floor yesterday en route to those 40 points, but couldn't get the roll on that first shot.
It's going to be a lot for the Wildcats to wrestle with Brady Scholl down there at 6'7". Jamel Cosley, the only guy that sort of compares in height, so he's going to have to play big along with the rest of his Wildcat teammates.
Kokomo in the home whites, red script lettering and the red numerals across the chest, trimmed in the dark blue. Driving is Most, his runners off the mark, but Cosley, long arms up to get the rebound, tied up on the way up, and the arrow will keep it at the Kokomo end.
Cosley just not able to wrestle that basketball away in time to be able to go with the finish. Defense from Northridge and Hayden Johnson able to force the tie-up, but possession stays with Kokomo.
Tried to lob into Cosley off the baseline, but the deflection goes out to Nash. And Hamill, who runs the point guard position at 6'3". This is the 3 out front, does Hamill. And the rebound cleared to Johnson. Scholl trying to post up, and the ball reversed to Carson Rumfelt. 3 juniors, 2 seniors in the starting lineup for Northridge. Cosley couldn't collect it. It stays at the Northridge end. Meanwhile, Kokomo countering with 2 seniors, 2 sophomores in Nash and Mose, and a junior, Eravon Burks, rounds out the Kokomo 5. Hayden Gorball knocks in the 3 to open up the scoring for Northridge.
Already at half his season average at 6 points a game, and the Wildcats just lost track of where he was, and that was an easy entry pass and was able to can it from 3-point distance.
Most run off the line, swings it back out to Hamill. Burks, a willing 3-point shooter, knocks it in. Eravon Burks, tied for the team lead, now owns the team lead with his 16th 3-pointer, ties the game, and then Nash commits a foul at the other end for the Wildcats.
42 of his 49 shots. This is Gorball at the other end off of the inbounds. And then you see Eravon Burks able to lace the nets just like Northridge did on the other end.
2 minutes in, we're tied at 3. Campbell looking inside. Scholl Jump stopping through the lane with a nice find under the bucket. Rumfeld was by himself under the rim to lay it in.
But it's the skill level of Scholl to split the defense off of one leg and then find his teammate for the nice finish at the rim.
Nash drew some space with that step back and knocks it in to tie it.
Like the tempo going back and forth between both teams right now, all just trying to settle in to whatever the flow of the game is for both teams.
Scholl off the glass for his first two.
But very clear who the Raiders want to get the ball to, standing at 6'7". Hard not to find his target down below in the paint. Already playmaking and scoring for the Raiders early.
Jared, you and I did not get to see Scholl's 40-point effort in person, but certainly prepping for this game, his numbers off the box score get your attention. The 40 points on 14 of 17. The initial impression, at least from my standpoint, as Kokomo turns it over, nothing Scholl has done in this first 3 minutes offensively. He's not in any kind of hurry when he catches the ball in the post.
And he does what a lot of big men should focus on doing. Every time you set a pick, find a way to pin a defender down underneath the rim. Make yourself big, present an opportunity for your teammates to feed you, because that ultimately sucks in the defense like he just did there. But he's able to get the finish once again, just making himself available. And that's an easy target standing at 6'7".
Scholl with 4 straight, and the lead is 4 for the Raiders. Both of these teams coming in with 1 loss. Campbell with a steal, took it away from Nash. Scholl with a diagonal pass that threads 2 defenders, and an and one as Rumfeld hangs in the air and scores for the foul as well. That foul is on Mose. His first, team second.
Guys like Carson Rumfeld just have to be in the right place at the right time, because when your best player can find you, you make points like that come easy to you, which makes you so valuable to your team and against opponents.
Nash tipped that rebound off the rim and almost tipped it in. First 2 for Hamill at the other end. That stops a 6-0 Northridge run. Ball goes around the horn to Johnson for a 3 off the front of the rim. And a foul on the rebound. But Northridge head coach Scott Radiker quick off the bench to applaud the ball movement by his team. Jake Scholl, the younger brother of Brady, 6'2" freshman, first sub into the game for Northridge. Overplay and a steal, taken away by Rumfeld. Long 3 by Brady Scholl is short. Loose ball, Campbell can't track it down. 30-second timeout called as the ball goes back to the Wildcats. We'll keep it here. 3:39 to go in the first quarter. Northridge up 4. We'll take this opportunity to remind you that today's game is brought to us by Coca-Cola of Kokomo. Been part of the fabric of Howard County and North Central Indiana since 1907. Coca-Cola of Kokomo, proud to keep the Wildcats hydrated both in the classroom and on the court. Great shot of this historic Memorial Gymnasium here in downtown Kokomo, opening in 1949. First game played here November 18th of 1949.
Rob, everyone's so enamored with new construction and things looking modernized, but there's something about some nostalgia when you walk into gymnasiums like this and you can just feel the history being pulled off the walls and off the hardwood. It's no place like this in the state of Indiana.
My favorite gyms to call a game in. We're glad you're with us alongside. Deflection out of the timeout. Northridge has been active in the passing lanes here in the first 4.5 minutes. Raiders packing the defense in to the paint, daring the Wildcats to shoot from the perimeter. Burks has hit a 3-pointer early in this contest. Gosley was left alone for a moment. Burks wants it from the wing. Takes it into the paint, does Burks. Diagonal pass back out to Hamill. That pass is deflected. Cosley's trapped on the baseline, and now the Wildcats, what seemed imminent, finally do turn it over. Active hands throughout that possession. Johnson a long one. Got it.
Shooting 36% from three-point land. Shot 11 threes, something that we talked about before the start of this game. You can't lose Johnson in transition because he'll make you pay.
Hamill, big steps to the lane and a finish with a right hand.
They're going to need a lot more of that, the Wildcats are. If you're going to play zone and you don't have a traditional big that can really hurt you inside, it's going to have to be off of the dribble drive, and Hamill able to do so.
Yeah, Hamill with a steal off the post pass. Hamill, Euro stepping by the defender, lays it in. 6 for Hamill, keeping the Wildcats attached in this first quarter. Scholl attacking over the outstretched hand of Cosley to the deck. Both teams fighting for it, and Most comes away. Hamill on the push. Hamill to the basket, missed it. Cosley soars in on the offensive rebound, is fouled on the way up.
Foul number 40,
Brady Scholl takes the personal, earning Cosley a trip to the line.
Just a byproduct of Jamel Cosley staying with the play. And oftentimes you are rewarded if you are the one to follow up the play and aggressive to go up with the rim and not putting the basketball down. Usually the officials will call it in your favor, and there Cosley able to do so.
Cosley knocks it in. Hayden Gorball returns for the Raiders, first time we've seen Parker James, a 5'9" senior for the Raiders. Cosley knocks in the second free throw. Daniel Gack stepping in, a 6'5" junior, appearing in just his third game. Transfer student from Australia is Gack. As Cosley has a seat. 14-13 our score. Two-man game, and the layup, though, by Jake Scholl rolls off the rim. Nash on the push, and we got a tie-up as the defender got a hand on the basketball. Drew Schaus disagrees with that whistle, but the tie-up on a nice defensive play. Take another look, and that's Hayden Johnson with the disruption, and the arrow gets it back to Northridge. Active hands at the defensive end has really disrupted Kokomo, Jared. And a nice give and go by the Scholl brothers. Jake Scholl to Brady. Brady Scholl with 6.
Well, Rob, to your point about active hands on defense, I've been a proponent saying that forcing jump balls and tie-ups is a valuable asset to the game because it stops the possession just slightly, and sometimes it swings the favor for you getting the ball back, and that's just a nice job by the Raiders on the previous defensive possession, and then direct translation to more points.
Hamill stutter steps into a 3, and the jab step baits Johnson into a 3-shot foul. So Hamill didn't make the shot, but achieves an objective of getting 3 free throws.
Johnson has to understand, being a three-point shooter himself, anytime you get close to that three-point shooter, you don't allow him to land, or you contest that shot with the hand, physical contact through the hand. Officials are going to call you in violation.
Well, and you certainly have to know that the shooter, when the shooter drops the hands, is looking for that rip through. As soon as you as a defender put your hands in between the shooter's wrists, the shooter's looking for that rip-through motion.
They're going to get you every time. It's sort of like the gridiron where they're going to protect the quarterback. No matter how you hit the quarterback, no matter when you hit him, if it's any inkling that it was too late or aggressive, they're going to penalize you. Same thing protecting shooters here on the hardwood.
Hamill's 3 free throws ties the game at 16, our second tie of the first quarter. Cutting to the rim, a shot contested and missed by Jake Scholl. Caleb Tafflinger's in. As Hamill stripped on the way up, ball loose on the floor. Last shot time for Parker. Brady Scholl fading, missed the 3. And that'll do it. Northridge led by as much as 7, but Kokomo able to come back and tie it at 16 by quarter's end. We'll step out, come back, quarter two, right around the bend next. You're watching the Phil Cox Memorial Holiday Tournament right here on the ISC Sports Network.
Have you been injured at work? Visit your work injury lawyers at indianaworkers.com. We help injured workers. For a free consultation, go to indianaworkers.com, a division of Galitko and Daly. We go to work when you can't. Have you been injured at work? Visit your work injury lawyers at indianaworkers.com. We help injured workers. For a free consultation, go to indianaworkers.com, a division of Galitko and Daly. We go to work when you can't.
Rob Brown, Jared Thomas back with you at Kokomo High School. That's a Memorial Gym in downtown Kokomo. Kokomo High School just down the road from us. In the Phil Cox Memorial Holiday Tournament, semifinal game one, Kokomo and Northridge all tied up at 16 apiece. Kokomo shooting 63% in that first quarter, Northridge 47, but the Wildcats, Jared, undone a little bit by 6 first quarter turnovers. Going back to that active hands comment that we talked about earlier in the quarter.
Kokomo found a way to get into transition, which I think is their advantage going against these Northridge Raiders, able to get to the free throw line in what was a 9-point advantage at the back part of that first quarter. You see they were able to tie it up going into the second.
And we got a jump ball tie-up on the rebound by Gorball. Arrow will take it back to Kokomo. Set the lineups for you as we start quarter two. Brady Scholl, Hayden Johnson, Hayden Gorball, Thad Campbell as fadeaway shot rolls in good for Brady Scholl.
I truly do feel that's going to be a storyline as we move forward. How many easy points at the rim did the Raiders leave out there? Just not allowing themselves to see the ball go all the way through the bucket. Scholl able to get one to go there. That could be the difference of the game as we continue to go forward.
DJ Nash's three is short. Carson Rumfeld, the fifth Raider on the floor. So Northridge begins quarter two with its starting 5 on the floor. Meanwhile, Kokomo has Corbin Hamill, DJ Nash, Austin Mose, and 2 off the bench, Daniel Gack and Caleb Tafflinger. 2-point Northridge lead to start the second quarter with that Brady Scholl basket. Scholl has 8 to pace Northridge. Corbin Hamill has 9 to lead Kokomo. Kokomo really sagging on Brady Scholl when Scholl is in the paint. Johnson's 3 out front is no good, and Nash collects the rebound.
That's the key, finishing off defensive possessions with rebounds. And even though it's a controlled setting as you go into transition, still Wildcats have to be aggressive because they had the upper hand when it got to the transition part of the game in that first quarter.
Tafflinger, no space to shoot the 3. Circles back out to Hamill. Pass forced in, and another Wildcat turnover.
Hayden Gorball opening up to the rest of the offense so he can see what was going on in front of him, able to get another one of those deflections and a steal.
Good job by Tafflinger to keep Scholl away, allowing Nash to collect the rebound. Hamill's on the run, no avenue to the rim. Tafflinger, elbow jumper's no good, and Scholl rips the rebound away from a couple of Wildcats.
The part of his game that we didn't get a chance to touch on as he misfires from 3 is his ability to rebound, averaging a double-double this season, 23 points, 11 rebounds to his name, had 12 rebounds yesterday, so the big man can just do it all.
3 double-doubles in the 6 games played here yesterday. Hamill drove into contact, could not get the whistle. Gack's put back was partially blocked. Johnson hits the 3. So a disjointed first 3 minutes to start the.
But that's now 8 turnovers that the Wildcats have committed. 6 in the first quarter, and when you got guys like Hayden Johnson that can stroke it from 3 like he can, as the Wildcats answered with one of their own, it's always going to put you in a bind if you're not able to take care of the basketball and giving up points in transition as they go over to the offensive end.
Tafflinger was just 1 for 13 from 3 before that make. But the Wildcats desperately needed a basket. And Brady Scholl misses the runner. Here comes Nash on the push. Nash draws the foul and gets to the line for 2.
Number 24,
DJ Nash, just a sophomore, but it doesn't take an elder statesman to understand how to play basketball the right way. DJ understanding he had the Raiders on their heels, so continue to attack, get to the rim, and force the official to blow the whistle. Earns you a trip to the free throw line.
Burks returns for Kokomo, replacing Mose. Jake Scholl back in for the Raiders, as is Parker James. Nash gets the home court roll on the second free throw to tie it up. So 5 points to start the quarter for Northridge. Kokomo responds with 5 of its own to tie it up at 21. Scholl, deep catch on Nash, and that's just too much strength for Brady Scholl.
Playing basketball the right way. As soon as you get great position down low, no need to put the ball on the ground. Brady Scholl catching it and going right up. The advantage is always in his favor when he plays that way.
And Jared, I'm not sure Kokomo has a player on its roster that can stop Scholl if he catches it that deep.
Just because you stand at 6'5" or 6'6" like some of the Wildcats do does not mean you have the physical traits to stop a guy like Scholl or Hayden Johnson.
Hayden Johnson on the transition 3 hits his second deep one of the quarter. Third of the game. Back to a 5-point Northridge advantage. Kokomo has yet to lead. Nash looks for the answer. Got it.
3 for DJ Nash.
It's exactly how you weather the storm. A great compliment to what Corbin Hamill brings to the game, and DJ Nash able to calm the storm.
And Johnson has hit his third 3 of the quarter, 3 in a row for Hayden Johnson. First player into double figures. Johnson with 12 in the contest. Gack tries a 3 off the front of the rim. Brady Scholl will wait for numbers. Tried to go into Gack and lost the handle. Nash pushing. Nash put it on the floor, lost it. And to the deck. Second hustle play by Parker James to earn his team a possession. Down the lane, put it up and in. Timeout, Kokomo. Jake Scholl, the freshman, lays it in for his first 2.
It's so ironic how that works. You get a hustle play on the defensive end, you get the ball right back in your hands, and you're able to finish at the rim for 2.
We'll keep it here. We'll keep it here with 2:31 to go in the half. 31-24 our score. Northridge has matched its biggest lead of the game with a 7-point advantage. Today's game is brought to us by Galitko and Daly. Turn to experienced lawyers for help at Galitko and Daly, PC. Their passionate goal is to bring the power of the law to meet the needs of the injured and those that have suffered medical harm. Learn more at IndianaWorkers.com and IndyMalpractice.com. Well, this is the first of our 2 semifinals here in the morning/early afternoon. About 25 minutes or so after the conclusion of this one, we'll have our second semifinal that'll pit 2 undefeateds and 2 top 10 4A squads. 6-0 Lawrence North taking on 6-0 South Bend Riley. Winners will advance to the championship game tonight at 7:45. The loser of this game will take on the loser of our second game this morning / this afternoon. In the third place game, that game will tip at around 3 o'clock, or at around 6 o'clock, excuse me. Out of the timeout, Wildcats need a hoop. Down 7. First time we've seen this 5 together on the floor as Cosley's return for Kokomo. Hamill, Cosley, Nash, Burks, and Gack. Northridge still in that zone. Hamill's 3 spins around the rim. Cosley could not grab the rebound over the block out of James. And the Raiders can grab a double-figure lead with a 3, but Johnson, who has hit 3 in the quarter, is on the bench. James had an avenue. Great bounce to Scholl for the dunk.
Parker Jones doing an outstanding job blocking out on defense and then finding his teammates on the other end. You don't have to be a superstar averaging 25 points a game to impact the game, and Jones showing you exactly how you can do so.
Berg stop and go, and Scholl was waiting to swat it away, but we got a foul away from the ball. Called on Northridge.
James, his first, team foul number 2.
I'm not sure that was the player that the foul was called on.
Foul was called on Parker Jones.
Yeah.
Just as they were going up, the Kokomo team was at the rim, got called for pulling an arm down. Took away from the highlight play from Brady Scholl with the block just after the dunk.
Moses back in for Kokomo. Wildcats trail by 9. Northridge in a man-to-man for the first time in this quarter. Nash working baseline. Mose out front. 3 rainbows off the heel of the rim. And Rumfeld with the rebound.
Coach Scott Radiker throwing a bunch of change-ups defensively, coming out in zone, then going man, just keeping this Kokomo offense out of sorts.
Radiker in his 8th season at Northridge has won 132 games against 52 losses.
But over his 25 seasons of coaching, it's only been 4 times that he hasn't had double-digit wins. And it helps when you have a guy like Brady Scholl able to be so skilled, go up with the left-hand finish. But 2 of those 4 seasons was when he started out at North Montgomery back in 2001 and 2002. So if you think that Coach Radiker can coach, I would ask you to think again.
First double-figure lead inside of 20 seconds rather. Elbow pull-up by Cosley's off the mark. And we've got a ball knocked out of bounds. Last touch by the Wildcats. Northridge can play for 1 here, up 11. Gorball returns, as does Schleybaugh. Freeman Schleybaugh, the 5'10 senior. 35-24 the score. Northridge has outscored Kokomo 19-8. 6 seconds to go. Johnson for 3, got it. 4th three-pointer of the quarter for Hayden Johnson. And it's all Raiders here in this second quarter. Hayden Johnson hitting 4 3-pointers. Brady Scholl chipping in 8 in the quarter as Northridge outscores Kokomo 22-8 and take this 38-14 lead. We'll take a break. Come right back. Halftime show is next. You're watching Indiana High School basketball on the ISC Sports Network.
Hey, it's Query.
And I'm Schultz.
And each and every week in podcast form, video form from the ISC Sports Network, we do Query and Schultz, brought to you by Bailey & Wood, the fine folks south side of Indianapolis, but serving all of central Indiana for the best mortgage rates.
And, of course, we record right here at Chilly Water Brewing Tap Room and our friends at Hoagies and Hops, 42nd and Boulevard, right here in Indianapolis. We're talking Colts, we're talking Pacers, we're talking Hoosiers, we're talking Boilers, and we're hanging with you.
We talk the tall and the short of it, right, is what we do.
Whatever, man. Every Tuesday night, 7:30, right here on the ISC Sports Network.
And that'll volley, oh my goodness, what a touch for the goal. Jumped over by Lawrence North, and they'll score on it. Oh my goodness, give it to him. Rolls through the lane and he knocks him. Oh my goodness.
At Mulberry Telecommunications, it doesn't matter whether you play from home, learn from home, or work from home. We have you covered with fiber-fast internet. Whether you video chat to stay connected with friends and family, or operate a small business, you can do so with the reliability that Mulberry Telecommunications fiber internet provides. From streaming video to regular web surfing, the possibilities really are endless. And that's a reason for all of us to celebrate. Packages start at just $49.95. Visit mintel.net to sign up today.
Thomas back with you here at halftime with our score in semifinal 1. Fox Memorial Holiday Tournament. Northridge leading the host Kokomo 38-24. Let's look at how the first half unfolded. Northridge did not trail in the first half, led by as much as 7 in the first quarter, but Kokomo came back with a rally in the last 2.5 minutes of the quarter to tie it at 16. But in the second quarter, it was the scoring duo of Hayden Johnson and Brady Scholl who combined for 20 of Northridge's 22 points, as Northridge outscored Kokomo 22-8 in the period. And Johnson's three-pointer at the horn, one of 4 three-pointers Johnson hit in the quarter, as Johnson went 4 for 4 in the quarter from behind the arc, capping off that 22-point period, putting the Raiders up 38-24 here at the break, giving the Raiders their largest lead of the game. And Johnson leading all scorers with 15 points. That was quite the shooting display by the Raiders, Jared, in that first half. But overall impressions of what you saw from both teams through the first 16 minutes of play.
I knew as soon as I walked into the gym and I saw Northridge already warming up well an hour ahead of tip-off, I knew that this wasn't just a December tournament that they were looking to participate in. They're coming here to Kokomo to win. They're here not to play around, and that was on full display in that first half, the way they were able to control the game. Although they forced a tie, Kokomo that is, tying it up at the end of the first quarter, it was the 17-3 run at the end of the second quarter that really extended this lead up to 14 and what it is right now as we look at and as we look back to what happened in that first half. So Northridge just really clicking on all cylinders, and it helps when you have a guy like Hayden Johnson that goes 5 of 7 from 3 with 4 of those makes coming in that second quarter.
Well, we've got our stats. What we don't have is a shot chart, but if we did have a shot chart, really the Northridge shots coming from either behind the line, primarily from Hayden Johnson, or inside a kind of imaginary restricted area around the rim from Brady Scholl, as those two players have combined for 29 of Northridge's 38 points.
There was one turnaround jump shot that Brady Scholl actually attempted, and he made it. And that was one of his 11 attempts from 2-point distance. But everything else was at the rim. So when you see that they're 10 of 16 in the half and Brady Scholl is responsible for 7 of those 10 makes, you can kind of piece together what the narrative was. It was a lot of threes from Hayden Johnson, a marksman from behind the three-point arc, or it was domination down low from Brady Scholl, finishing on both sides of the rim, having his way.
We'll take a break here on the halftime show. When we come back, we'll have more from Kokomo as Northridge leads at the break in semifinal 1, 38-24. More in a moment on the ISC Sports Network.
Hey, it's Query.
And I'm Schultz.
And each and every week in podcast form, video form from the ISC Sports Network, we do Query and Schultz, brought to you by Bailey and Wood, the fine folks south side of Indianapolis, but serving all of central Indiana for the best mortgage rates.
And, of course, we record right here at Chili Water Brewing Tap Room and our friends at Hoagies and Hops, 42nd and Boulevard, right here in Indianapolis. We're talking Colts, we're talking Pacers, we're talking Hoosiers, we're talking Boilers, and we're hanging with you.
We talk the tall and the short of it, right, is what we do.
Whatever, man. Every Tuesday night, 7:30, right here on the ISC Sports Network.
And that'll volley, oh my goodness. What a touch for the goal. Jumped over by Lawrence North, and they'll score on it. Oh my goodness. Give it to him.
At Mulberry Telecommunications, it doesn't matter whether you play from home, learn from home, or work from home. We have you covered with fiber-fast internet. Whether you video chat to stay connected with friends and family, or operate a small business, you can do so with the reliability that Mulberry Telecommunications fiber internet provides. From streaming video to regular web surfing, the possibilities really are endless. And that's a reason for all of us to celebrate. Packages start at just $49.95. Visit mintel.net to sign up today.
Well, here's the first half highlights as Northridge out to a 14-point advantage. Ervon Burks hitting one of 3 first half Kokomo threes, but again, it's the activity around the rim and just the DJ Nash hitting a fadeaway shot. Brady Scholl, there's that turnaround jumper off the glass that Jared mentioned earlier in the half, but Scholl active around the rim, sealing defenders. And then there's a diagonal pass hit ahead by Scholl to get an easy bucket for Carson Rumfeld.
But it's just the positioning of power that the Raiders possess. They understand who is number 1 on the totem pole, and that's Brady Scholl. They understand who number 2 is. That's Hayden Johnson, neck and neck. 15 for Johnson, 14 for Scholl. And then it's everyone else like Rumfeld as we see Kokomo get a finish at the rim. We have guys like Hayden Gorball, who's only shot it twice. Rumfeld has shot it 3 times. Jake Scholl has shot it twice. Those are role players that fit around pieces like Johnson and like Scholl. And when those things all come together because team is in mind, you have a 14-point lead at half.
There's Jake Scholl, the younger brother of Brady, with the layup there toward the end. He saw 3 of Hayden Johnson's 5 3-pointers. And Corbin Hamill, number 2 in white for Kokomo with a team-high 9. Certainly, Jared, their leading scorer at 17.5 a game coming in. Hamill is going to have to get much more aggressive and involved if the Wildcats are going to get back in this game.
And Hamill has matured as he's come from being a freshman at New Haven, transfers in to Kokomo, and every year he's just gotten better. A 10-point average score per night in his career, but 13 points per game going back to last year. 17, almost 18 points per game this year. And that maturation just can't be in scoring. Hamill's going to have to build the confidence of his teammates, get those guys involved, because everyone in the gym knows that Hamill leads from the front, but he's going to have to bring some others along with him.
Well, Hamill, the aforementioned, handling the basketball to start this second half. Kokomo with the basketball to begin as each team runs toward its respective bench in this second half offensively. Original starters on the floor for both teams. That's Hamill, Nash, Most, Cosley, and Burks for the Wildcats. Look away pass by Hamill to Cosley. Scholl might have gotten a piece of that. Campbell leaking out. Got in too deep and found Rumfeld on the kickback trailer, and Rumfeld knocks in the 3.
But that play does not happen if Thad Campbell doesn't get out and run. Trust that Brady Scholl is going to find you, gets himself buried underneath the rim, but is able to find Rumfeld for another 3, the 7th of the game for the Raiders.
Burks killed the dribble, and Cosley back up to get it. Just not been very many fluid half-court offensive possessions for Kokomo. And in the passing lane to knock it free, that's Gorball. Gorball challenging the shot blocker Cosley to finish.
Northridge has really just caught Kokomo sleepwalking, and in that sleepwalking phase that the Wildcats have been in, they've just seen this lead balloon and balloon.
There's Ervon Burks with his second 3-pointer of the game. First bucket for the Cats here in the half.
But it's really just about Coach Schaus and his team making it tough for Northridge and then finishing the possessions with rebounds, not fouling, but then rebounding and then getting in transition. That's where the advantage is. If Coach Radiker is going to continue to switch up his defensive coverage, then you have to get in transition, because at that point, guys are finding men, they're not finding zones.
Burks with a tough runner, flip it up and in over Scholl. Yeah, the easy baskets Kokomo has gotten in this game have all been in transition. Long rebound from 3. Gorball gets his own miss to keep the possession alive for the Raiders. Scholl on the kickback. Long 3 by Johnson is short. Hamill's got the rebound. Drew Schaus says, let's go. Hamill draws contact. Off the window, couldn't get the roll. But Hamill drew the shooting foul. And again, to your point, Jared, Hamill found a seam before the defense could get settled for Northridge.
That's that semi-transition look. You're not pushing the ball to a fault. You're pushing the ball to create a reaction from the defense. And if there is an open lane, then you attack it, just like we saw Hamill do, gets himself to the free throw line.
Hamill very skilled, averaging over five free throw attempts a game. These are free throw attempts 4 and 5.
And the easiest way to help your point per game average go up is if you get to the free throw line and you shoot better than 62%, something that's been a career number from him at the free throw line. So easy points given to Hamill at the free throw line simply because they're free.
Hamill has boosted that this year, shooting 75 this year. 5 for 5 so far today, knocking those two in. Cats have scored 7 in a row to cut it down to 12. Three-pointer is up and in. That's a killer. You force a bad shot. The Cats forced a bad shot initially, but couldn't get the rebound.
But that's because Kokomo needs more participation instead of spectation. Too many guys on the perimeter watching that rebound go up, not going up themselves and securing it. 2 offensive rebounds later, and another 3 for Northridge.
Burks' shot is blocked by Scholl. You need to put that saying on a T-shirt and TM that. You need to talk to a Northwestern classmate who's in trademark law and get that on a T-shirt ASAP. I will buy the first 10. Three-pointer out front is good by Campbell. 2 straight threes by the Raiders, and it's right back to 18, the biggest lead of the game. And you can feel the momentum right back on the bench, occupied by the black jerseys. Hamill draws the foul. Back to the line goes Hamill. Brady Scholl's second foul.
Team foul number 2.
But Jared, just when Kokomo had started to get a little positive mojo, scoring 7 straight points, Northridge hits 2 threes, and it's right back to 18 in under a minute.
Even going back to my days in high school, I never truly understood the value in starting fast. Hearing all of my coaches talk about the importance of the start of the game, well, it's very simple from the seat that I sit in right now, because when you don't start fast, the body blows that you take as the game goes on with natural ebbs and flows feel a lot greater than had you just started a little bit quicker. And so now you put yourself in the hole having to fight and scratch and claw even more so just because you didn't commence the game with the right mindset.
Hamill 7 for 7 from the line. High-low lob, knocked away. Burks came backside for the initial deflection. And Mose bounce ahead to Hamill. Hamill pull-up 3, got it. Now, Corbin Hamill is certainly coming out aggressive with 7 points in the first 4 minutes of the quarter.
It's a multi-level score right there, and Hamill just has a great feel for the game, can attack, can shoot off the dribble, catch and shoot, really can do it all.
Wildcats are sending a second defender on the catch, and Mose traveled after the rebound. So the turnover keeps it at the Northridge end. (49-36) our score. 3 minutes and change to go, third quarter. Scholl, quick catch and shoot over the outstretched arms of the 6'9" Joe Kanyenda.
That's just a tough shot. That's a credit to the skill set that Brady Scholl has to catch it with the defender draped all over him, still able to get the fadeaway to go down.
Hamill tried the quick 3 at the other end and spun out. Mose crowding Johnson, as you would expect, after Johnson went 5 of 7 from 3 in the first half. Scholl bounces down low to his younger brother, Jake. And Jake Scholl draws the foul.
Team foul number 1. Jake
Shoots
Scholl
2.
at the line to shoot 2.
Well, Coca-Cola of Kokomo has been part of the fabric of Howard County and north central Indiana since 1907. Coca-Cola of Kokomo proud to keep the Wildcats hydrated both in the classroom and on the court. Jake Scholl knocking in both free throws, 4 points off the bench for the freshman. Back to a 17-point advantage. (53-36). Northridge has led by as much as 18. Hamill had it knocked free on the deck, fighting for it. Hamill tried to strip it away from Johnson. And we've got a tie up. Arrow will keep it with Northridge. See South Bend Riley and Lawrence North going to the Aux Gym to get some shots up before this second semifinal. Go about 25 minutes following the conclusion of this game. Anticipating around a 12:45 start time for that one. Nash up tight on Johnson. Parker James is returned for the Raiders. Cross-court skip knocked out of bounds by Nash. Gack and Tafflinger step back into the fray for the Wildcats. 2:28 to go in the third. Parker Scholl spinning and lays it in.
Just a late rotation by Caleb Tafflinger. You're supposed to be there as soon as Scholl comes out of that spin to wall up. He wasn't. Easy finish at the rim for Scholl.
DJ Nash with a finish at the other end.
Doesn't take that many three-pointers. What you just saw is exactly DJ Nash's game. 6 out of the 7 games in double figures, even a couple double-doubles in there as well. The young guy can flat-out play.
Yeah, the statewide conversation on Nash will continue to grow as Nash becomes an upperclassman next year, only a sophomore.
But at that 6'5" frame, can you score is going to be the next question. Can you defend, and then can you rebound? You're not always going to block shots, but when you see a young man like Nash goes up and gets rebounds, has 2 double-doubles against Peru and Marion, that really speaks volumes because that's a foundational piece that's already in place, and he's still got plenty of time left ahead of him.
Johnson, long rebound and collected by Nash. Tafflinger. Gack tried to step through, lost it. And now we're inside a minute to go here in the third quarter. Both teams with fouls to give. Johnson high off the glass. The Wildcats have done a good job of running Johnson off the three-point line.
But he's not your typical shooter. He's not just a guy that's looking to catch and shoot, come off of screens, come off of flares, and just launch a bunch of threes. He can handle the basketball, so he's a threat to put the ball down on the floor, as we saw in that previous possession.
Outlet pass stolen by Rumfeld. Brady Scholl to the basket, put it up and in, and a foul. Brady Scholl absorbing the contact, tossed it in. Gack with the foul, his first. Brady Scholl following up his tournament single-game record 40-point outing with 20 points and counting in this semifinal.
I wonder how many of those 1,000 points as he crossed that threshold just yesterday were easy finishes at the rim. Too much physicality for the rest of the Wildcats to handle from Brady Scholl.
Tafflinger's three-pointer was partially blocked. Gack tried to save it. And it's out of bounds. Back to the Wildcats, or the Raiders rather. 8 seconds to go. Johnson at the top, short. Johnson got it back, faking, Kenninginda got a piece of it, and that'll do it. 21-point lead as another 20-point quarter. 21 for Northridge in the third. Northridge outscoring Kokomo 21-14. The 21-point advantage for the Raiders as we head to the fourth. It's around the bend next. We step out quickly on the ISC Sports Network.
Have you been injured at work? Visit your work injury lawyers at indianaworkers.com. We help injured workers. For a free consultation, go to indianaworkers.com, a division of Galitko and Daly. We go to work when you can't. Have you been injured at work? Visit your work injury lawyers at indianaworkers.com. We help injured workers. For a free consultation, go to indianaworkers.com, a division of Galitko and Daly. We go to work when you can't.
Rob Brown, Jared Thomas back with you for the final quarter of this first semifinal. It's been all Northridge here in this first semifinal. The Raiders have never trailed. We've had 4 ties in this first semifinal. Northridge on top by 21 as we head to the final quarter. Corbin Hamill leading the home team with 16. Brady Scholl with 20 to pace Northridge.
And Rob, I'm not always a numbers fanatic, but I am a purist of the game. So when they do come into the fold, I like to shed light on it. On 24 made baskets for the Raiders, 17 assists and only 3 turnovers. And then you look on the other side of the floor for the Wildcats, 11 made field goals, 5 assists, 13 turnovers. So if you were to look at anything on the stat sheet, that's the one area that's glaring as to why the Raiders have really taken control of this game, sharing the basketball and not turning the ball over.
Northridge in a diamond zone that we've not seen so far today. That's a different look. And the shot short to start the final quarter for Kokomo. Campbell on the handoff. Ball goes around the horn. Jake Scholl, corner 3 off the front of the rim. Brady Scholl almost with the tap in. Tafflinger racing the other way. Killed the dribble at the foul line. Hamill dribbled into trouble, flips it in against the contest. Corbin Hamill with 18.
Hamill 18 points, but I promise you 15 of those points have been a struggle. Just going over so many defenders in his face and having to fight and scratch and claw for every little bit. So he's definitely worked for those 18.
Jake Scholl draws the foul. Goes on Gak. Gak's second.
Jake Scholl, the line to shoot 2.
Jake Scholl at the line for 2. Today's game brought to us by Coca-Cola of Kokomo. Proud to have been part of the fabric of Howard County and North Central Indiana since 1907. Coca-Cola of Kokomo proud to keep the Wildcats hydrated both in the classroom and on the court. First free throw no good. Second one good. Jake Scholl, the freshman, 5 points off the bench, checks out. Guessing that's not the last we've seen of him. 60-40 our score.
Hamill scores.
And how do you make life easier for Corbin Hamill? You put him off ball, put him in the action, so then he can be a secondary penetrator as he comes down off the pin down, gets right to the rim with the easy finish.
Nash cut off. Ball swung to Burks. Tried to body English in a 3, and he did. And Burks drew the foul, the boot.
That's now 3 of the 4 quarters that Ervon Brooks has started off in the early minutes of the quarter with a 3-pointer. That time he gets it for the 4-point play potentially as he earns himself way to the charity stripe.
30-second timeout called by Kokomo.
A 30-second timeout.
We'll keep it here. Well, Coca-Cola would like to welcome all of their guests to Howard County this holiday week. Coca-Cola of Kokomo has been enriching the lives of residents of North Central Indiana since 1907. Coca-Cola of Kokomo proud to partner with 26 schools to make sure students stay hydrated in the classroom and on the field of play. To find out more, log on to cckokomo.com. Well, again, we will have semifinal number 2. About 25 minutes or so following the conclusion of this one. That foul went to Hayden Johnson, his third, as Burks completes the rare 4-point play.
Burks sees well over 80% of his shots come from three-point land to start this game. 42 of his 49 total attempts coming from 3, so no stranger to launching it from deep.
It's a 14-point game. Back cutting Campbell, put it up and in, and a foul. Well, from a Kokomo perspective, Jared, every time the Wildcats have maybe a sliver of optimism, there's a basket at the other end quickly by Northridge to pretty much extinguish any of that.
But as Coach Schultz goes back to the film and shows his team some of the breakdowns in offense and defense, there's a midline on defense. Draw that line right down the middle of the lane, all the way down the court. Too many times guys are either not to the midline or well too inverted on the midline. Eyes are diverted away, and so easy buckets have been able to be executed by Northridge time and time again simply because of fundamental on defense aren't being checked off properly.
8-3 Kokomo advantage in this quarter. And Northridge still with a comfortable 16-point lead as we're nearing 5 minutes to go. Winner advances to the championship game tonight. Johnson, 3 left corner off the front rim. Johnson has gone cold here in the second half after hitting 5 out of 7. A great end-to-end play by Nash. Nash collecting the rebound, went all the way to the other end and laid it in and drew the foul.
Everyone can get out into the open floor and make something happen, potentially, but when you're DJ Nash, I look at the control that he has as he's going past defenders, and can he have composure at the rim? He checked all of those boxes. 3-point play loading.
Free throw missed. Nash with 9 in the game. Johnson trying to get free from Moskamp. Scholl with a collection dribble and a finish. Oh my.
You saw the way he turned that corner and looked at the rim. He knew what the assignment was, and he aced it. Knocked it right out of the park with a big-time flush.
Scholl had an intention with that collection dribble and grabbed the traffic rebound at the other end. Down the baseline, Northridge will take a little air out of it. Scott Radiker says, let's hold some things up here. Up 16. Scott Radiker would like time. We'll keep it here. 30-second timeout. There you get a look at Scott Radiker with the clipboard there in the huddle. 25th season, as Jared mentioned. Got word that Coach Radiker's wife, Robin's celebrating a birthday today, so we'd like to wish Coach's wife, Robin, a happy birthday on this December 30th.
I'm sure very pleased with what she's seeing thus far this morning before the turn of the new year. Well on his way to now potentially how this season goes. 12 straight seasons with double-digit wins, and it's been those seasons where they've started slower, they've had losing streaks in the middle, and he's still able to churn out a successful year. Going back to 21, starting that season 4-9, finishing at 13-11, and then the next season having an 8-game losing streak in the middle of the season, but finishing 15-11 and played in the sectional championship at the end of that season. So Coach Radiker, no stranger to adversity and finding a way to come out on top.
64-48. Our next semifinal will be 2 undefeated. Oh, and Brady Scholl did it again. Oh, my.
It's too bad that Brady Scholl is not part of the home team, because that dunk-o-meter would be going sky high in these last couple of minutes alone. As we see DJ Nash.
Way out. And that dunk-o-meter on the baseline to our left rose to prominence during the Flory Badunga era. That thing was on tilt most nights when Badunga was in here. Now starting center at Kansas. Brady Scholl putting on a post-play clinic in his first 2 games in this tournament, scoring a tournament record 40 points in the win over Maryville yesterday morning, coming back with 24, so 64 in 2 games thus far for the senior who is en route to Indiana Wesleyan. Scholl again, his 3rd dunk of the quarter.
We talk about Badunga hanging on the rim a lot here at Memorial Gymnasium, but Scholl doing his own Northridge impression with the way he's been tilting that rim in their favor.
Brady Scholl, his college coach Greg Tonigal is, as Scholl is bound for Indiana Wesleyan next year, and his college coach Greg Tonigal sitting behind the bench, a couple rows back, clad in a red sweatshirt of Indiana Wesleyan. Meanwhile, Corbin Hamill with 22, Scholl with a kick out. We're inside, 2.5 minutes to go. Northridge will move to 8-1, advancing to the championship game tonight at 7:45 to play either Lawrence North or South Bend Riley. Gack overplaying the passing lane, knocks it out of bounds. Get another look at Brady Scholl exploding down the left baseline.
There's some power behind that slam.
There was
2-hand slam, daring anyone.
Most recent dunk, again, sealing the defenders.
To jump with him.
Campbell bounced to Scholl, and Scholl lost it on the way up. I think he wanted to dunk that one as well. Scholl lost his grip on the way up, but still able to flip it in for point number 27 and 28. 8.25 for Scholl. Hamill draws the foul on the way to the rim.
But Scholl putting on a masterclass of how you get an efficient almost 30 by not having any plays necessarily called for you, but just carving out post positioning, knowing when to stop and pop, knowing when to attack the rim. It's truly been special to watch.
That foul went to Campbell, his 2nd. But Jared, you being a former post player yourself, you identified it early in the game. Scholl's ability to use his body to create leverage and angles, and for not just for himself, but for his teammates to deliver passes that easily put him into scoring position.
That's exactly right. You understand as the passer, when he's giving you certain positioning and putting his hand up, you throw it to certain places because he's already showing you where the advantage is. So it's both things working hand in hand, a total team effort.
Freeman Slayball is back in the game for Northridge. Johnson's cut off on the baseline, bounce to Scholl. Scholl is bumped on the baseline by Joe Kenyenda. Kokomo had fouls to give, 2 to be exact. That's a baseline out of bounds for the Raiders. Inside 100 seconds left in this one. Scholl wants 30 to the rim, draws a foul, and will shoot 2. Kenyenda with the foul. Scholl has shot just 1 free throw in this game. Scholl has been so quick and precise in his post moves, he's not really given the defenders a chance to foul him. First free throw up and in.
Because where does it say that when you catch it in the post that you have to take forever and a day to decide what you're going to do?
It does not. If
does
you know
not
what you're
take
going to
all
do, go ahead and do it.
Which makes you an impossible guard because you have to send help early, which ultimately plays into a guy like Scholl's hands because he's a playmaker. He sees the entire floor, so he'll make you pay with that early commitment.
So Scholl checks out with an even 30, following up his 40-point game yesterday. Nash lays it in at the other end. 14 for DJ Nash. 72-57 our score. Johnson to the bucket.
So
Johnson
Brady
with
Scholl
19.
gets a 40-point double-double yesterday at the top of the list of the Phil Cox Tourney record single game points. And then all he does is followed up the next day with a tie for 5th with a 30-point effort, tying Brad Rohde from Hanover Central just last season against Maryville.
Taplinger's runner popped out, but Hamill's there to lay it in. Hamill has 26, 17 of which have come in the second half. Now the floor is spread. And the fans that have made the trip south from Middlebury, the Northridge faithful behind the bench to our right. Carson Rumfeld lays it in. Hamill to the basket.
You really get the sense that Northridge took the life out of Kokomo in that second quarter. 17-3 run, and they never looked back from there, and their score reflects as such.
Johnson will dribble it out, and that'll do it. Our final here in semifinal number 1. Northridge 61, or 76 rather. Northridge 76, Kokomo 61. Our high scorers in the ball game. Corbin Hamill pacing the Wildcats with 28. Brady Scholl with 30. Jared, some final thoughts on game 1.
Just a complete team effort from Northridge. They controlled it from pre-warm-ups to warm-ups all the way through the echo of the whistle that was final to get them the 15-point win, 25-point win, excuse me. Just an outstanding effort from everyone in black and green.
Well, our MVP in game 1, Brady Scholl with 30 points and 8 rebounds to lead all scorers. I want to thank our great crew working with us throughout the day today, Charlie Hammock and Dalton Cox. We'll be back with you for semifinal game 2, pitting 2 of the top teams in Class 4A. Number 9, South Bend Riley against number 3, Lawrence North. Both of those clubs 6-0. And that game will tip here. And we're waiting to see what that time will be. It'll be in about 12:45-ish is when that game will tip. So in about 35 minutes or so, we'll be back with you for semifinal number 2. Again, South Bend Riley taking on Lawrence North. But until then, this game has been a production of the ISC Sports Network as Northridge defeats Kokomo 76-61. On behalf of our entire ISC crew and my partner Jared Thomas, I'm Rob Brown. Thank you so much for watching. Until we talk to you again at around 12:45, I'm Rob Brown saying so long, everybody.